Welcome back to episode 12 of my playthrough through Stellar Horizons. Today we are in the 2140s. It is possible that this is the last decade of the game. Beginning in the year 2145, we begin to roll to see if the game ends. So this could be the last episode, or there could be one or two more. Not sure yet. But yeah, having said that, we're just going to keep on moving along here. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game, but I think at this point, so much of the gameplay is really just collecting resources for everybody that I'm just going to keep on doing what I've been doing the last few episodes, where I'm just going to condense the video a little bit, kind of explain what happened at the end of each turn. I don't know how exciting it would be to just sit here and watch me mine resources for the next 2 hours, so I'll go through the important things. I'll show the pirate battles. I'll try to remember to show asteroid mining this time. I think I forgot to do that last time. The goals for each faction: North America would like to get a little bit more technology, and there's still quite a bit of exploration left to get out on the right side there, with really all the gas giants still have some exploration left, as do the moons of Uranus and Neptune. And then one area that I don't know if I've forgotten necessarily, but I just haven't done it. The sun observation spot there has 5 physics left. Nobody has... I think somebody's tried to send an orbiter there a while ago, but that has not been depleted yet, so I think that'll be something that we see. I think North America is interested, like I said, in getting technology this turn. Obviously, they're going to continue doing their base terraforming. But right now, I think Japan is leading North America, but the reason that they're leading is because of their technology advantage. So as much that North America can cut into that as possible would be beneficial to them. And Japan and South America are just going to continue to build out their bases and terraform when able. Right now, Venus is at 14 out of 18 on the terraform scale. Enceladus is at 13 out of 18, and Titan is at 15 out of 18. Venus being South America's base location, Enceladus being Japan's, and Titan being North America. North America also has their base at Ganymede that they are working on terraforming. Japan has their base at Callisto that they're working on terraforming. And South America is at Europa and Ceres. All of those are the... after their primary world is fully terraformed, that is where I would expect them to begin to turn their attention to. Nobody is at embargo, nobody is at war. We did try rolling down to embargo or war last time. That did not end up working. Japan moved it up to free trade, and North America moved it down to neutral, but that's as far as that moved. We'll see what happens at the end of this decade if we make it that far. If the game doesn't end by then, we might see Japan try to lower it down into embargo or war. I think right now Japan benefits from a short game and North America benefits from a long game. I don't really see a way Japan loses this one way or another, just based on their tech advantage. But if anybody's got a shot, I think it's North America. South America's doing well with their bases that they're building, but I just don't think they're going to have enough to catch up. But if the game goes all the way out to the end, like 2160 something, I don't remember the year, in the 2160s, I think that would benefit North America for it to last as long as possible. All right, so with all of that being said, we are at the year 2140. Oh, one other thing. I was looking through the errata that came in the box and noticed that I have been doing something wrong, surprisingly. Just kidding, not surprisingly at all. I'm sure I've made many mistakes. A crewed vehicle that collects resources cannot also explore in the same turn. And really, that's the other way around, because exploration happens first. But if a crewed vehicle explores a location, it cannot later mine for that for the resources. So I don't think it's come up that often, though I'm pretty sure it has happened at least once or twice. Yeah, it's just something I've missed, but I'll try to do a better job of that moving forward. For the build phase for 2140, North America is buying a telescope. They're finally getting their telescope back online. They're going to buy an LV1. They do have the tech now that doubles the LV capacity for resource transferring, so the LV1 can be helpful to get resources out as well. And they're buying an orbiter and a probe. The orbiter and probe are probably going to Uranus. There's still a good amount of research out there. Japan is buying an LV1 and an LV4. They have no launch vehicles right now, and they are also rebuying their telescope. And they're getting 8 supplies. They also can send double the normal capacity of a launch vehicle. And South America is building 9 supply. They do have an LV3 and an LV4 already, and recall that their special ability is that they can carry an additional resource when launching from Earth. Alright, so with that, I'll move into 2140. If I get to anything big, I will let you know. Otherwise, yeah, I'll go through the year here. Mandatory movement has been done. Recall also that the initiative this decade is North America, Japan, and South America. Alright, I'm almost done with resource production here. The last thing I have is South America's got the asteroid here at Mars. They just happened to be in the 1 box at the beginning of the decade. So they were in perfect location to get that asteroid. So we'll go ahead and roll to see what they get for the asteroid there. It's a 96, no recall. A 5 on the chart is 4 fuel. And then they will also get a victory point for harvesting that asteroid. Alright, nobody traded with any bases. Titan and Enceladus both upgraded their defense network to a large one, and in the process did another step of terraforming. So we've got Titan at 16 and Enceladus at 14, both getting very close. Venus went up to 15 by building another settlement. They are now at 20 settlements, and that is the largest colony in the game at the moment. Alright, that's the end of 2040. Moving on, or 2140 I should say. Moving on to 2141. Alright, for the build phase, the only faction buying anything or building anything is Japan. With the rest of their money, they're buying a telescope and 8 supplies. They did lose their telescope. They actually rolled a 1 for the malfunction last time, so that is what they are going to buy. Sorry, I take that back. One more thing. South America is buying 8 supply and spending another 2 to ready the CV4 that they currently have on Earth. And they're buying the 6 supplies. I think I said 8. 6 supply. They're buying 6 supply and sending that up with that crewed vehicle. Alright, movement is complete. We do have 2 pirate encounters here to work with. So the first one is here at Jupiter, the North American CV8 with a combat value of 10 versus the pirate with a combat value of 3. So here are the search rolls. Alright, the pirate got a 7 and North America got a 1, which is reduced down to 0 with the fighter drone it has. So that's going to be... That's a difference there of 7 after the modifier. But the pirate does get 1 additional point because how large the CV8 is for North America. So the difference is 6, and I think North America is going to do 2 extra damage and prevent another damage with those points. So here are the rolls. The pirate gets a 7 plus the 3, so that's a 10 on the strike table, is 2 damage inflicted. But we reduced it by 1 for the tactic point, or the tactic point, and another 1 for the fighter drone. And then I also realized, I think I forgot to do this last decade, but most of the, I think Japan and North America both have let's see, North America's got, sorry, I'm looking at the tech chart. North America and South America have +3 to their attack roll, and Japan's got +5. I don't think I did that last time, but I don't think it mattered. So the 3 there for North America, we are adding 3 to that for the technology, which is 6, and then adding 10 more for its combat value, which is 16. And the 16 on the table is 5 damage, plus 2 more from the tactic points. So overkill, and no damage taken. So that is a victory point. That is a politics marker. And that is half of the Pirates' cash, which is currently at 14 billion. So they will get 7. All right, and we'll do the same thing at the Kuiper Belt. You see at the very bottom right of your screen there, Japan's got their CV9 versus the Pirate. So same thing, Pirate got a 4, and Japan got a 6, which is reduced down to a 5, so there will be a combat. The difference there in points is going to be 2. So the pirate has 2 points, but, and I think, you know what, I think I actually forgot to do this in a very previous combat we just did. Japan gets +2 to their combat tactic points, so does North America. I did not factor that in. So they are at even. There are no extra command tactic points to be spent here in this battle, so it's just straight up strike with no modifiers other than the tech modifier on the roll here. So Japan rolled a 3. That is +5 because of their technology. That's 8. And their combat value is 12. So a 20 on the chart is 6 damage, more than enough to destroy the pirate ship over there. And then the pirate rolled a 9, plus their 3 is a 12, so that is 3 damage inflicted. There is 1 fighter drone on the Japanese ship, so they will take 2 damage. Let me find the damage markers here. But they did destroy it. They will get a politics marker, a victory point, and also half of the remaining pirate cash, which is currently at 7 billion, so they will get 4. All right, end of the year, Titan, Enceladus, Venus, all terraformed with the settlement. Titan is just 1 step away, Venus 2, and Enceladus 3. So moving on to 2142. Build phase. North America is buying 10 supply. Going to launch that out to Ganymede. They actually have everything they need now at Titan to finish terraforming there, since they are just 1 step away. Japan's not buying anything, and South America is buying an LV1, 1 supply, 2 fuel, 2 ore. They have a ship inbound right now to Venus. Let me come over here. Venus, they've got that ship right there with 6 supply. They need 1 more, and they'll be able to finish up what they are doing terraforming Venus. And then they're buying 2 fuel and 2 ore, and they're going to begin working on their Europa base next. Or Sirius. Either way, they need the fuel and the ore. All right, at the end of the year, nothing too much happened here, but we did have more terraforming at Enceladus, Titan, and Venus. Titan is now fully terraformed at 18. The other 2 are close behind, Venus at 17, Enceladus at 16. So North America is going to begin focusing on Ganymede here, which is already at 5. So that is their plan. Not sure. I think they're still going to be looking to get resources probably from... Oh, actually, they can get them from Europa. That's even better than Enceladus. So, not sure what they're going to do when they get a recall, because there's no spaceport anywhere in the Jupiter system for anybody, I think. Yeah, I don't think anybody's got anything in the Jupiter system. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, with that, that is the end of 2142. Moving on now to 2143. All right, build phase. North America is buying an LV4 and 9 supplies and a fuel. Japan's not buying anything. South America is buying an LV4 and 7 supplies. I should, I guess, mention that Japan is spending a fuel and a supply from their base at Enceladus, and they are resupplying that crewed vehicle over there. One other thing that has been happening over here at Alpha Centauri, this crewed vehicle for Japan just continues to get depletions. They're already down to 2 out here, and they keep it being biology. So Japan has actually collected quite a bit of biology research from that crewed vehicle on Alpha Centauri. I was planning on sending it back to the solar system so that it could be involved in whatever potential conflict might be coming up next decade, if there is one. But it's hard to pass up all of that research that it is getting out there. All right, at the end of the year here, the terraforming that we did here was 1 at Enceladus for Japan, 1 at Venus for South America. That one is now fully terraformed. Venus is fully terraformed. And North America did 2 steps of terraforming with 1 settlement at Ganymede. So to do that, it cost them the 4 for the 1 step of terraforming, and then 5 for the 2nd step. They go up 1 each step. The reason they did that, they can do that one more time next year to get to 9 with the current supplies they have at their base. They need 1 fuel, but they'll send that out. Just in case the game ends at the end of 2145, they want to make sure they have at least a half terraformed world there. Okay, so that is the end of 2143. Moving on to 2144. Okay, yeah, so for builds this phase, North America is spending the rest of their money on 2 fuel. Let me think about that. No, they're just going to buy, I'll change that. They're going to buy 1 fuel and keep $1 billion in store. Japan is buying 3 supply and an ore. They also spent 2 ore to fix the damage on their ship that's currently in Enceladus. I need to go remove the damage counters. And South America is not buying anything this turn. All right, here we are at the end of the turn. A few things happened this turn. Triton over there, the CV8 with North America, ended up having signs of life, rolled a real low, or well, not real low, rolled a 7, which is exactly what they needed, or lower, for life. So that was something North America found out there. Let's see. The terraforming, Enceladus is now at 18. Japan got that up to fully terraformed. North America terraformed Ganymede 2 more steps to 9. It is now halfway terraformed. And South America terraformed Europa 3 steps. They have enough supplies there for that, and they're going to do 2 more next turn to make sure they get that in before the game could possibly start ending. Though Europa needs 20, so it's not quite as. They need 10 to get to half instead of 9 like these other ones do. So, but they're working on that. That's something they're working on. They did just have a lot of resources dropped off from their crew vehicles here. So. Let's see, looking around, I think that is all. We are moving on in to 2145. This could potentially be the last year. Likely not, but it's potentially possible. At the end of every year, from here on out, I should say, I will roll the percentage dice. And starting with this year, if it's a 1%, then the game is over. If it's the next year, 2%. The year after that, 3%, and so on. So there's a better chance each and every year of the game ending. It's not likely to be the end of this year, but it is possible. So having said that, looking around at purchases, let me see what they're going to buy. All right, South America's buying 7 supply, and that's the only thing anybody's buying. All right, that's, again, the end of the year here. Yep, oh, I need to remove that. A few things got depleted out there. The Glacial Larissa moons with the North American crewed vehicle, Uranus out there got depleted, as well as Oberon. Both of those, the first one from the North American orbiter, and the second one from the Japanese crew vehicle. Yeah. So looking at where we are with terraforming, the only terraforming that happened was here at Europa with South America. They did 3 more steps. I guess I must have been stockpiling supplies there or something. But I think they've only got about 7 left. But they're at 10, which is half terraformed of their 20 that they need for terraforming. So that's the end of the year, and we start checking to see if the game ends at this point. So on a 1%, the game is over. 33. No, we continue on to 2146. Nobody is buying anything this turn. Okay, I'm midway through exploration. North America just explored Glacial Larissa Proteus, the moon out there at Neptune, and they got 2 engineering chits, and both were 5s. So quite the exploration there. All right, so with that, that's the end of the year. No base expansion again. Everybody spent all they had to make sure that they got their bases where they wanted them to be by the end of the previous year. So everybody's collecting resources right now and moving forward with that. So we will check to see if it's the end of the game on a 2%. 56. No, the game continues into 2147. And again, nobody is buying anything. All right, that was a reasonably uneventful year. The only terraforming was Europa that went up by 1 step. South America decided to head back to the main belt to try to get this asteroid since nobody else has done it yet. And last year, the Japanese crewed vehicle at Alpha Centauri had a recall. There's still one exploration left out there, but they have to come back, so I think it's just off screen, but they are in the Saturn 8 box right now. So they're on their way back to the solar system. It's the end of the year. On a 3%, the game ends. 15, nope. Game continues on into 2148. And again, no purchases. Alright, so mandatory moves are done. I see that I made another very crucial mistake here. The base at Ceres for South America has a small spaceport that is damaged. So it only counts as a large supply station. Those can only service up to CV3s. And their range is only 3 right now. So these CV4s should never have been able to go to Jupiter in the first place. The CV3 was fine because it is a CV3 and that can still be supplied there. But I think what I'm going to do is just, these would have been reserved. They're going to go back to Earth. It'll take them 3 years to get there. I think that'll make up for it. So, sorry, they should have never gone out to Jupiter in the first place. But again, the CV3 here is fine. Yep. Alright, we're at the end of the year here, and no base expansion happening this year. And on a 4%, the game is over. 48, nope. The game continues on to 2149. Just kidding, I'm moving things around and totally forgot to do something. South America is going to harvest that asteroid at the main belt. This is from the last turn still. 7, and that is 3 ore. And they also get a victory point. Alright, I'm at the trading with bases phase. North America is going to buy for 1 billion, that's all they've got. They are going to buy 2 ore at their Ganymede base. And that is it for trading with bases. Ganymede is going to end up building, I'll report back on that when I'm done. Yeah, so Ganymede built a settlement and they terraformed, so they are now up to 10, if I can find that, 10. That's the end of the year. On a 5%, the game is over. 77, nope. So it was 2149. We're moving into 2150, so that's the end of the decade, and we will go through the economics phase. First up are politics markers, 2 for North America and South America and Japan, for everybody, and then 2 more for North America and South America. So that puts North America at 13, Japan at 10, and South America at 4. Next up, we are rolling for events. Here's the first one. 57, that's immigration. The player with the fewest settlements everywhere can add 2 to any base they control. It's actually going to be Japan. They only have 28, so they're going to add 2, and they're going to add them to their base at Enceladus. Go ahead and do that, and they now have 23 out there. The second event is 16, increased space budget. The player with the least earned missions earns 5 extra billion. That's South America. They've only got 2, so they have 5 extra billion. Alright, next up is initiative. Japan's going to spend 2 politics markers to add 20% to their already 40% bonus from policies, so they're at plus 60. So first up is North America. Let me get the politics marker out of here so I don't forget. North America rolls a 73 that goes up to a 113. Japan gets a 127. And South America gets a 57 with their 20 bonus. So it'll be Japan, North America, and South America for initiative this turn. Diplomacy. Let's see if any move towards neutral. 2 is Russia. And let's see, South America was at free trade with Russia, so they will go back to neutral. All right, for politics, South America is going to spend 3, 1 to move China's their relationship with China, and 1 for Russia. So here is China, get an 8, no, and then for Russia, you get a 9, no. North America is next. They're going to spend 1 politics marker to move to embargo with Japan. 9. No, I guess it's combat is really maybe it's not meant to be. But I think Japan might benefit from it too. They're going to also try to move to embargo with North America, and they rolled a 7. You need a 6 or lower. All right, I tried twice to move it to some stage of combat to see some combat, but it's just not happening. Everybody's going to be neutral or friendlier again in the next decade. All right, on to production. South America gets 48 billion in addition to the 5 they got for the event. Japan is at 48, and North America is at 48. All right, for base production, I've already got the camera over here at North America. Japan would be first. I'll take that into account when it comes to ore production at Hygeia Palace. For their base at Mars, they have a small research station. They're going to get biology research there again. That's 8 base for Mars. And then they've got 6 settlements there, so that's going to add 2. So they will get 10 biology tech. At Hygeia Palace here, the base there is 8, plus 3 is 11. They've got 17, so that's another 2, so that's 13. But they're going to go second, so they actually only get 12 there. And then over at Titan, they're collecting fuel. Fuel there has a base value of 9. They just have a normal mining station, so 9, but they do have 20 settlements, so that's plus 3. So that will be 12 fuel at Titan. Moving on to Japan, their base at Hygeia Palace will be looking to get, let's see, their base value there is 8. They've got 5 settlements, so that'll be 9. Since they go first before North America, they do not lose the 1. And then at Enceladus, they have a base value of 7 supply. And then they've got 23 settlements, which is plus 3, so they get 10 supply at Enceladus. Then down here at South America, they've got Near Earth Orbit, which has a base value of 8. 8 ore, so that is what they are collecting there. Then moving on to Ceres, that's going to be collecting supplies. 7 is the base value, and they have 3 settlements, which adds 1, so they get 8 supplies here. And then let's move the camera a little bit. We've got Venus. They're getting a base value of 9 fuel. They've got 23 settlements, so that's 3 more. So they get 12 fuel. Let me find all that. And then here at Europa, they're looking for supplies, and the value at Europa is completely covered up with other ships. It is plus 3 there, so 9 is the base value. So 9, and they've got 11 settlements, so that's plus 2, so they get 11 supplies at Europa. All right. South America can move 10 resources around. They're going to move 5. They're actually going to move 10 ore from Near Earth Orbit, or Near Earth asteroids rather, and bring it over to their base at Europa. Things are getting quite crowded on here. Japan can move 15. They're going to move 10 supplies from Enceladus and 5 ore from Hygeia Palace and move this all over to Callisto. And North America can now move 15. So they're going to take 10 ore from Hygeia Palace and 5 fuel. I need to find change for that. But they're going to move 5 fuel from Titan and move it out to Ganymede. All right, next we'll add an NPF base at 98. Wow. That's going to be pretty far away. That's out at Haumea. And that's going to be, pull a base here from the bag of bases. That is a European base. So they're out there, all the way out there in the Kuiper Belt. All right, next up we have 2, let's see here. We've got 2 asteroids to add. First one is at 13, and the second one is at 79. 13 and 79. Let's take a look over here. 13 is probably the moon. Yes, 13 is the moon. And then 79 is going to be at Uranus. That's at Umbriel, Ariel, and Miranda. And we've got 2 pirates to add. First one is at 76. That's probably out there as well. And 3. 3 is Mercury. And I will check on the other one. All right, and then I need to add some trade markers to a few bases, but not too many of them. I think we need to add it to the North American base at Ganymede. Sell fuel. And then we need one at the new European base that we just placed, and that is also sell fuel. All right, next is develop technologies. I will add up the tech points. Here are the tech points each faction has. All right, this is how the technologies look after everybody has bought them. North America paid a lot of money to get all the way to the victory condition there for biology. Then moving down to physics. So Japan got everything. Japan now has every tech. In physics, North America got the +5 to the attack roll. And then down here, they also got the engineering tech to give them robotic exploration +3 and 15% malfunction rate. So South America did spend a little bit of money to get 1 biology tech, the base construction -3. I think the points would have gone to waste otherwise. And then North America spent a total of $23 billion to get the techs they got. Japan made $27 billion because they basically got to convert all of their tech points to cash. I'm not sure if it was worth it for North America to do that or not. But I think that they are, if the game goes long, they're hoping that they'll be able to get another technology development round in and hopefully get enough physics to get the physics end game and even possibly the engineering end game, the victory tech for both of those. So at least that's the idea. So they're going to not have quite as much cash going into the next decade, but they're hoping that that was worth it. All right, moving on to settlement growth. Mars, do North America here. Mars has 6 right now, so 8. Nope, nothing additional. Hygeia Palace has 17, so they get 1, but just the 1. Titan has 20 exactly, so they'll add 2 there. And Ganymede has 10 exactly, so they will add 1 there. All right, moving on to Japan. They have 2 right now at Callisto. That will stay at 2. They've got 5 at Hygeia Palace. That'll stay at 5. And they've got 23 at Enceladus, so they will add 2 more. And South America, Ceres has 3, 4, so nope. Venus has 23, so they will add 2 more. And Europa has 11, so they do get 2 more. So right now, the most populous colonies right now in the solar system, 2 of them have 25, Venus and Enceladus. And according to the little player chart here, that means they have about 500,000 people. So got some pretty good sized cities starting to pop up across the solar system. Lastly is the policy step, and nobody is moving anywhere on that chart. So this is typically where I would end an episode, but I think I'm just going to keep on going into 2150. I don't know for sure, but it seems like the game should end at some point. I know the odds are low at 6 and 7% coming up here, but as the more of those that you have to roll, eventually you're going to get to it. So I would probably expect it to end sometime this decade, but I could be wrong. But either way, we'll go ahead and get going. And as a reminder, the initiative order this decade is Japan, North America, South America. All right, for the build phase, North America's buying 4 supply, Japan's buying an LV4 and 8 supply. All right, at the end of the turn, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa all had a settlement built and a terraform action done. So it puts Callisto at 3, Europa at 12, and Ganymede at 11. As a reminder, Enceladus, Titan, and Venus have all been fully terraformed at this point. Okay, moving on to see if the game is over on a 6%. No, 83. We keep going on. We're at 2151 now. Build phase, North America is buying a telescope and an LV-1 and 8 supplies. Japan's buying 8 supplies. South America's buying 5 supplies. I see that I forgot to do one resource collection. The South American CV3 was going to look for supplies there on the main belt last time, and they got 2 of them. Alright, I've done all of the movement here for 2151. We do have a combat to resolve out there at Uranus, very top right of your screen there. We've got North America with a... they have a combat value of 10 and 1 drone. It's going to be versus that CV4, the pirate, so we'll roll for the search roll here. Alright, they do find each other. The pirate rolled a 2, and the North American ship rolled a 3 after the modifier. So that's a difference of 1, so the pirate has 1 combat point. They get 2 because of how big the enemy CV is, but North America has +2 to their combat points. So they are even with combat points, so they will roll for combat itself. The North American ship gets a 7 plus the 10, that is 17. 17 on the table does 5 damage. That will kill the pirate ship out there. Oh, okay, let me check the recording. I forget what that dice roll was. Okay, it was a 7 as well. So 7 plus the 3. Oh, okay. For North America, they do more damage than that because of their tech, but it doesn't matter because they killed the pirate ship anyway. So 7 plus the 3 for the pirate is 10. 10 does 2 damage. That North American ship does have 1 drone, so it will take 1 damage. They will also get a victory token, as well as a politics marker. Also, the pirate cash is at 13 billion right now, so they'll get 7 of that. Alright, exploration is done. Over there in that same flyby box in the top right at Uranus, the mining vehicle is going to attempt to harvest that asteroid, so we will roll for that. Got a 9 and a 30, so that's 5 ore. It can actually only fit 4 ore right now on that ship, so they will collect 4 ore and a victory point. Also, Japan hasn't gone yet for resource collection, so I did do that asteroid out of order, but they're the only ones there. So, all right, at the end of the turn, Ganymede and Europa both got 1 more terraform rating, and Callisto got 2 more. All right, the game ends on a 7. 76, nope. We continue on to 2152. North America is rebuying their telescope. They lost it last turn. Japan's buying an LV-4 and 8 supply. And South America is resupplying their 2 crewed vehicles that made it back to Earth, buying 2 LV-4s to launch both of them, and 6 supply for both of them as well. So I spent quite a bit of money here this turn. Alright, I am done with resource collection, except for the asteroid here North America has reached. So they are going to roll for that. No recall, they get a 1, so that is just 3 supply, but they do get the victory point for that as well. Alright, at the end of the turn, Ganymede and Europa both added 1 to their terraform rating. Japan added 5 to the terraform rating at Callisto. They were stockpiling a whole bunch of supplies there. Also, they do have the tech that makes it just 3 points, so it was 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for the increase there. They are still at 8 supplies there. They could have gone 1 more if they wanted to, but they are now at half. They are at 10, so that's half of 20. So they are on track to get some points for that world right now. All right, on an 8%, the game ends. 6, that is the end of the game. So that was awfully timely for Japan to terraform. Callisto to halfway. We'll see if that makes the difference or not here. All right, it's going to take me some time to go through the score. So let me add everything up here, and I'll report back with the what I've got. All right, I have tallied up the score. So I'm going to go through line by line. There's a lot of different categories where score, where you get different points from. So let's go through it. The first thing we get points for are victory markers. These are the victory markers we earned along the way for defeating pirates or getting the asteroids, or if we completed missions but couldn't keep the thing, couldn't keep the token. So the columns here on the left, North America, the center column is Japan, and the right column is South America. And you can see North America had quite a few at 23, Japan got 10, and South America 2. Next up, we look at the interstellar colonizer texts that each of them got. North America got one of them. That gives them 15 points. If you get two of them, you get 30 points. Nobody had two, but Japan did have all three, so that gave them 50 points. And South America did not complete any of them. So next one is the most number of settlements on a terraformed world. There are 6 terraformed worlds right now. 3 of them are fully terraformed: Venus, Titan, and Enceladus, and each faction has the most number of settlements on each of those. And then there are 3 that are half terraformed: Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa, and each faction has the most on one of those as well. You get 20 points, or 25 points if it's fully terraformed, or 10 if it's at least half terraformed. And so you can see there that all of the factions received 35 points for that item. All right, next up, missions. North America did complete 33 points worth of missions. Japan completed 39 points worth of missions, so pretty close to each other there. South America got 7. If you've been following along with the campaign, you know that they did not have a lot of luck completing the missions as we went on, so that is why the discrepancy there. The next row is for Alpha Centauri exploration. If you explore it within a robotic explorer, you get 5 points. If you do it with a crewed vehicle, you get 15. And if you do it with both, you can add those up for 20. So North America did send out a flyby and explored for 5. And Japan did go out there with both and got 20. All right, so the next one is a bit of a mess here. I'll try to explain what I did. This is points basically for each settlement you have. And depending on where it's at, you get different points, and if it's on a terraformed world or not, you get different points. So if it's in Earth orbit, you get a point. If it's in, this is per settlement. Moon, near Earth, asteroids, or Mars is 1.25. Mercury, Venus, or the main belt get 1.5. Jupiter or Saturn is 1.75, and anywhere beyond that is 2 points. You also get a bonus half a point per settlement on a fully terraformed world, and you get a quarter point per settlement on a half terraformed world. And so I know it's kind of small, the little dots there. So basically the way I did this, each letter is the letter of the world that we're looking at. So for example, North America here, I'm looking at Mars, Hygeia Palus, Titan, and Ganymede. Japan is Hygeia Palus, Enceladus, and Callisto. And South America is Ceres, Venus, and Europa. The pink number is the number of settlements at each of those locations for each of the factions. The dots was just my way of trying to compress some data there. That is the number of quarters of points that each settlement was worth beyond 1. So if you see 1 dot, it was worth 1.25 points. If you see 2 dots, it was 1.5, and so on. And then like Titan there for North America has 5 dots, so they were worth 2.25 points. That's 1.75 for being in the Saturn zone, and another half a point for being on a fully terraformed world. So at the end of the day, you can see how those points came out. North America had 112 points in settlements. Japan had 73 3/4 points, and South America had 84.5. Okay, the next thing we look at is base infrastructure. This is every level of infrastructure at every base. You get a point per level, so like if you have a small refinery, that's worth 3 points because it's a Small mining station, large mining station, and then small refinery, so that would count as 3 points. North America had 21 points of infrastructure, Japan had 11, and South America 10. Next up is undeveloped technology. So any tech that you did not develop on the tech tree, you got minus 3 points for. North America did not complete 5 of the technologies, so they lost 15 points. Japan completed the tech tree, they did not lose any. And South America did not do so well on the tech tree. They did not complete 23 of the technologies, so they lost 69 points. You also get some points for extra technology or leftover technology and politics markers, but because we're very early into this decade, nobody had any of those. Next up, we look at fleet size. So basically, you add up all the robotic explorers and crewed vehicles you have. You basically assume robotic explorers are size 1. The crewed vehicles are the size of whatever they are, so CV8 is size 8. And then you divide that total number by 2, and then you get your fleet size. So North America had 14.5, Japan had 11.5, and South America had 5.5. And so with that, those are all the different areas where you can get points. So at this point, we just add them all up. And it was actually much closer than I thought it would be. Japan did win at 250.25. North America was right behind at 243.5, and then South America got 75. Ironically, or coincidentally, whatever, Japan would have lost had they not gotten Callisto all the way to 10 terraforming points on that last turn. Callisto can be terraformed all the way to 20, so 10, which is where they got it to, is halfway. Had they not gotten it halfway terraformed, they would have lost 10 points on this most settlements on a terraformed world, and they would have lost another point or so on the settlements as well, and they would have lost North America by about 3.5 points. So that did end up making the difference. I didn't realize how close the game was going to be. North America really had quite a few points at their settlements, at their worlds, with the infrastructure, and they also had collected quite a few victory points along the way. Japan, obviously, they did incredibly well in the tech area, but they were a little slow to get their bases and settlements going. So this was actually a very close game between first and second. But it was interesting to see how the score ended up shaking out like that. So yeah, with that, again, the year now, that we're at the end of year 2152, and that is the end of the game. I've been doing this campaign playthrough here for quite some time, so it's kind of weird to see it come to an end. I don't know what else there is to say about it, but thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, like I said in the comments, if I said this a few episodes ago, let me know if you prefer. I'm gonna guess the preference is probably for the full camera work for seeing every role, every exploration, every resource gathering. I know the last few episodes I condensed it a lot just to cut down a little bit of time, and I feel like the exploration is pretty interesting. Or, it's pretty interesting to watch on video, but maybe the resource gathering is not. So maybe what I could do in the future is some sort of hybrid between the two, where I do record the maybe the movement and the exploration, but then skip past the resource gathering. So let me know what your preference is. Like I said, I'm thinking at some point I would like to try to do this again, but maybe do one of the scenarios. I'm intrigued by some of the scenarios. I'm trying to open up the rule book here. There's the Ex Machina, which is where you have basically a faction out on Pluto that the Earth factions are against. There's also Rebellion, which is basically Earth versus Mars. So I think there are some pretty neat scenarios in the book that would be interesting to play out in the game. So let me know if you'd like to see any more of this. And one last time, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I am looking forward to whatever series I do next. Thanks again.